I mean, if I say to you that our opening price on the property ladder at the moment is 165 for a one-bedroom apartment, up to 3.5 million for a super-duper Coswell stone house. There's a shortage of housing stock as far as we're concerned in certain price bands. At the moment, between sort of 5 and 700,000-800,000, there's not a lot to choose from, and plenty of people seem to be looking in that market.
If you're single or you're a young family, it's really tough to get hold of a reasonably priced property.
There's a lot of young people that can't afford to buy houses, or I mean, half of them don't earn what I earn, and they no way they can afford to buy a house.
The Gordon Russell's estate was supposed to be, as far as I was concerned, for young people. Affordable homes, and at 350,000 for an apartment, it's just not what I call, acceptable for somebody of my age to try and stay in the village.
I just can't get my foot onto the property ladder, as in with regards to owning my own property. I mean, I could quite happily rent somewhere, but that's just wasting my money.
I grew up in Wickham-Ford, and we can't get a place where we'd like to. We've put our name on the council list, but they sent us back a form saying we had 50 points, but we don't know whether that's good or whether that's bad, or if we're going to get anything in the near future.
I've got my dad, my mother, my aunt, my sister, my brother, my auntie, my uncle. They're all on the side of the road now because they ain't got nowhere to stop.
I think it will be better living home, but living in home it's expensive for immigrants.
The houses that have been built have all been rather large, and for the person that can afford the sort of $500,000 plus, which really is no bloody good at all to the locals.
I'd need an affordable solution that would help me get onto the property ladder.
Well, I feel that the villages need more housing, and that definitely.
From my point of view, there is quite enough development already.
There's quite a major waiting list that's held by the local authority, and yet there's only a comparatively small new build programme of homes being provided to meet that need.
Well, the parish council identified a need for housing in the area to try and keep the local people here, people that couldn't afford to buy the houses, because frankly the houses have gone up to such a rate now. Moving around different places, unsettled, they can't get a school, because if they go to one school they've got to be moved on and put to another school, so they're just not going to school, they're losing lack of education, and mess up job opportunities from when they get older and things.
The market's always pushed up by wealthier people wanting to move into the pretty Cotswolds area, and as long as that's going to happen, we're fighting a losing battle.
I have spoken to people with my own views on building properties and where to build them, and I know that people have said to me, well, I'll oppose that straight away.
With all these young people having the house, young mums, people like me, young, single, earning a living job, we just can't do anything. We just can't afford to live anywhere.
The government should let everybody know about these grants, and it should help everybody out.
All I've done really is put my name forward to an idea that there might be a list somewhere with somebody. I mean, I don't really know what's going on.
Friends who have got children and are married would like to get a council place, but basically have had to make themselves homeless by going to live at home, or having their things packed in a suitcase and taking their children with them and standing in the council office before the council will then put them in B&B accommodation, which is normally pretty grotty, and then if you stick that, then you're able to get a council house.
Home ownership has a very valuable part to play in mixed sustainable communities. So it's essential that in any new schemes that are provided within rural communities, that shared ownership has an element to play.
A solution to our housing problem is cheaper housing, or some kind of government scheme that's easily accessible for everybody.
There is a need for more development.
We should be allowed really to be having more property to live on, more council sites being built, and if we provide our own ground, we should be given the opportunity to be passed and lived on that. But they just don't seem to be doing that. They just seem to be washing their hands with it all.
I think whilst I can obviously sympathise with the view of people who don't want new development on their doorstep, Actually, this country has a vast amount of open space, rural countryside, which is available. I take a fairly simplistic view, and that is that rural communities should provide for their own population growth. They shouldn't expect that they can export their local residents to town communities. That doesn't help to maintain sustainable communities.